Okay. With that, we are going to, get rolling with our next session of Fools and Fates, playing Dungeons and Dragons with a bunch of...
I'm one of them.
We also have a
Awesome. This
special
video is getting
spectator.
demonetized.
What?
I'm sure I could bleep something out. Anyway, we do have a special spectator with us tonight, Senpai Patience, or Pi.
I am the NPC of this world.
Alright, guys. In our last session, just as a quick recap, a bunch of, a rather mismatched people found themselves at the Swallow's Tail, a multi-level tavern that sits seaside in the town of Port Alderley, which is a port city on the continent of Iceland. A couple of dragonborns, a couple of tieflings, a couple of elves, and an Aarakocra and a human found themselves kind of just enjoying food and drink within the tavern, one of which got on stage and blew the crowd away with their angelic singing and wonderful performance. Which, by the way, Sydney, what instrument do you play? You're muted.
No, they're just dead.
We egregiously wait for a response.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. She's just running.
Water.
This is getting off to a wonderful start.
Okay. What's happening?
I asked you,
died.
what, Yeah, Kyte cast another thunder wave and you died.
Oh,
I
no.
was asking, what instrument do you play, Sydney?
I have 3 of them in my lofty little bag of wonders. The one I most play is the lute made out of passed down from my father and covered in the scales of my mother. But I digress.
That is wonderful. So, as Sydney blew away the crowds with their lute performance, it caught the attention of the barkeep, who was making her rounds and kind of getting to know each of you because you were all fairly new to the region. With that, Kyte had inquired about the happenings of the town, like what had been going on lately, searching for work or information. To which Talia, the barkeep, a tiefling woman with dark blue skin and curling antelope-like horns, and a small orange pseudo-dragon named Toast, explained that there had been some disturbances in the local mine. A short while later, one of the ex-workers from the mine had actually walked in, a friend of Talia's, and pinned a notice on the job board. To which Aero, seeing opportunity for coin, marched up to the board, kind of took a look, and found that it was catching the attention of a lot of different people, most of you who had gone up and inquired about this notice, and had sat down with Zoran, who was a worker of the mines, who explained that there was something haunting the mines within that had struck visceral fear into the hearts of the workers there. So, upon accepting the job quest, potential suicide mission, to go down into the mines and clear it out of any sort of monsters or things like that, you all found yourselves at the Alderley Mines, to which you had entered as stealthily as you could after scoping out the area, talking to the local wildlife for our druid and our ranger, and upon entering found that for the first few 100 feet or so, there wasn't really much of notice. And then upon inspecting the area along the river, Ariadne had been running her hands along the stalactites, to which one opened up a bulbous yellow eye, and another, and tentacles rose from the depths, and you found yourselves embroiled in combat with a dark mantle, which is an octopus squid-like monster. After slaying the dark mantle and watching it float away downstream, you all hit yourselves because I could start a little fire and I could roast that, and then I have calamari. And does calamari pair with peanut butter? And it was a whole discussion that you guys had while you took your short rest. Upon not entering, but delving further into the mines, the group found themselves in combat with a mimic disguised as a treasure chest, and upon defeating that, and Kyte promptly nearly TPKing everyone with a thunder wave, further and further down into the mines the group delved, until eventually you started to see veins and geodes and clusters of crystals, and it became apparent that not only was this a diamond mine, it was a gem mine, sorry, of which Kyte was able to get a small geode of altisite off of the um, off of the wall there, in which he pocketed. Eventually, it opened up into a much larger cavern that appeared to be covered in swaths and sheets of fine linen, covering most of the abandoned equipment. Upon further inspection, you had noticed a strangely shaped bundle slumped up against a large wooden desk, which appeared to be the foreman's workstation. Various work orders and um, schematics of the mines, blueprints, so on and so forth. Eventually, after inspecting everything, it became apparent that these were not linen sheets that were covering the room, they were thick spider webs. And upon opening up the strange bundle, it became apparent that held within was the desiccated and half-digested corpse of the foreman. After investigating for a moment and stepping back, Kirby looked up to the ceiling to see these beautiful glittering veins of gemstones, almost look like the Milky Way at night, until a shadow began to shift and move on the ceiling, and a giant, um, I want to say, abyssal spider made its presence known and spoke to you, which is unusual, and seemed to recognize Scarlet. Now, upon fighting and engaging with this spider, it was eventually slain and bisected by Qrow's scythe, to which we left off the group, catching their breath and calming their hearts as they collected themselves and kind of, what the fuck, we just fought a spider the size of a garden shed that could also flicker in and out of reality, and that is where we left off.
Sydney
So,
yells. Oh,
I was gonna say, first things first, just make sure that you're muted if you're not talking, because I do see feedback. But secondly, what are you all doing?
Sydney yells out. Now can we take a freaking long rest? Because
Does anyone
you know
respond
what?
to that?
Everyone's like, you know what? Can't stand them,
I
but yes, yes we can.
because
I go up to the back of Sydney and I pat him on the back, giving a reassuring like it's okay.
spiders. Why did it have to be spiders?
But what if there are more spiders waiting for us?
I will feed you to A very.
It's a reasonable question.
You're so lucky I
Okay, you know
can't
what?
charm
If
you
there's
right
any
now.
more spiders, we'll just put Sydney up front and we can all just watch.
I agree.
If I had
Cool.
If there's any
invisibility,
more
I would
spiders,
cast it myself.
I will put peanut butter on them, and then use Hellish Rebuke.
I just low-key want to see Sydney scream again.
I strongly dislike spiders.
All right, so are you guys going to stay in the room, make
Well,
your way back up? What are we?
I would like to look in the room and see if there's anything we missed earlier after the chaos. See if there's any loot that the spider was like maybe hiding.
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll an investigation check.
Howdy ho there.
Your mic is cutting out a little again.
Investigation check. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna roll that. And I got a 13.
13. Okay. So, looking around at the room, you mostly see that everything is covered in a very thick spider web, almost like, I don't know if you get funnel spiders where you are, but they create it and it's almost opaque. And upon kind of like you could probably take the end of a pickaxe or something like that and just kind of and try to brush away some of it. After looking around the room for a few minutes, that other than the horrific nest of this demon spider, that there's nothing else that's really here. You don't see any eggs, nothing like that.
Okay.
Kyte will take a moment to observe, or rather inspect, the geode of Aldecite and maybe channel some magic into it.
Okay, roll an Arcana check for me.
Okay. 20 total.
20. So, describe to me exactly what you're doing.
Just channeling a bit of my own latent magic, not really directing it anywhere. It's just seeing if it'll prompt some sort of reaction, if it'll amplify, if it'll react in any certain way, if it'll produce some sort of effect.
Okay, so with your 20 total Arcana check for this piece of Altasite, it is a shimmery blue, sort of like a light bluish purple. When you take a look at it, it almost seems to shift, sort of like if you have wood suspended with mica powder, and upon holding your hand over it and attempting to channel some of your latent magic in it, it kind of softly glows a little bit brighter and then dims again. And from what you remember just in hearing about this sort of material and um, sort of, just passing conversations, things you may have read, you know that in its raw, Altasite is not magically potent, but if you were to bring it to someone who could refine it, or if it was put through a refinery, then yes, there could be some very powerful potential magic to this. But in its current state, it's very pretty, but you can't really use it.
Okay.
Okay. Is anybody else doing anything?
Aero's just sitting down on the floor, just waiting for everybody to get through with it. Trying to catch his breath.
I go over to Grazzy and ask for some nutter butter.
I excitedly hand him the elf girl some butter. Not butter.
Do you just like grab a hand and like stick it in and just hand it to them?
No. I have a wooden spoon.
Oh. I always knew you were kind of a spoon.
Excuse me? All right, so
Accurate.
after kind of gathering your wits about you, I guess, is the group going to look farther into the mine, or are you going to head back?
Qrow's also doing something right now.
I would like to go further in.
Go
Okay.
beyond.
Yeah, you would.
Can we take
I'm
a short
sliding-
rest? Sorry.
Yes, absolutely. If you guys want to take, then in the meantime, follow. Go ahead and make a check for me. So that would be a D20 plus your.
Wait, and you were cutting out
Perception.
with the Curio. You should turn on your noise suppressor.
Is this any better?
I think so.
What am I adding with it as well?
Curio, you were cutting out for a second, so good adjustment.
So, Qrow, that is your perception, which you have a 0, so it's just a straight roll. So just
I got 15.
15. With that, you're pretty confident that no one was following you into this mine. It's pretty apparent that this mine has been condemned. The local townspeople are staying away. No signs of you guys being followed.
Okay.
All right, if you guys want to take a short rest, you can go ahead and expend a hit die.
Sydney activates Song of Rest and sings Lady Gaga's Paparazzi.
I'm not gonna make you roll performance for that because I just imagine that it's beautiful. It's like an acoustic version of Lady Gaga's Paparazzi.
Hey, what are we rolling?
Nothing. Sydney, do you for Song of Rest? Do you roll for that?
I think I do. Let me see. Song of Rest. If you are in the friendly creatures who can hear your performance, regain hit points at the end of the short rest by spending one or more hit dice. Each of those creatures regain an extra 1d6 hit points. So everybody rolls a 1d6, like an extra 1d6, to regain more.
So if you guys choose to spend the short rest regaining hit points, you can absolutely do that. So for a fighter, it would be at 1d10, and then you could add 1d6 onto it to get your hit points up. For a druid, that is it's a d8. For a rogue, it is 1d8. Sorcerer, it's a d6. Blood hunter, I believe, is a d10. So if you guys do want to regain some hit points, you can absolutely do that. Just make sure to roll your hit dice and then add a d6 on top of that.
What's a hit dice?
So you're a rogue, you roll a d8. So an 8-sided die.
Wait, I'm looking. 1 second, I'm slow.
That's okay.
I found it.
Okay. So roll that.
Okay,
What'd you get?
I got it too.
Okay, and now take a d6
Okay,
and then roll it.
I got a 5.
Okay, so you gain 7 hit points back.
Yay. Well, which is exactly what I needed too.
Nice.
Okay, just for that, we won't put Sydney in the front.
So, Scarlet, you did mention that you wanted to, like, after your short rest, and the beautiful rendition of Lady Gaga, Lady Sydney, you did mention that you wanted to investigate for to the mines.
I wanted to what?
You had mentioned that you wanted to investigate a little bit further.
Oh yeah, I want to go deeper if there's any more.
Okay, absolutely. And I would say go ahead and roll an investigation check for me.
An investigation check coming right up.
I just rolled 2 ones in a row for my healing.
I got a 4.
You got a 4.
That's a
So
4 total.
that is a 4 total. As you walk around the cavern, you can see that there are various mine shafts that are much smaller. You could probably go single file into them, but with a 4, it becomes apparent that you really cannot see very far into them. And these are probably just following veins of altasite. It does look like this is like from what you gathered just from kind of bouncing around in your fight with the giant spider and looking around, you really can't see much. You can't tell where these go. But it does look like this was the nest of whatever was here. So that's really all you can make out. Is Kirby doing anything?
Jerry. Sure.
Perhaps being sneaky, like stealth, to prepare what if something will happen.
Okay, could you go ahead and roll a stealth check?
Okay. Let's see. So. Got a 9.
A 9. You're trying to be stealthy, but like you're definitely doing the thing where like, you know, a kid is up at night and they're trying to not get caught by their parents. But and maybe every so often like your foot hits a rock and it just goes tuk, 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 and you're like, damn it. And then you're trying to be stealthy. We'll see if it works out in the long run for you.
I just imagine that scene from Emperor's New Groove where Kronk is singing that song as he goes along.
Yeah. do 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 do. Gonna be stealthy.
Yeah, look in chat. Look at.
Nice. Pretty much.
That is exactly it. Yes.
Kyte would like to cast a minor illusion.
Okay, what minor illusion?
A minor illusion of a spider.
I hate you.
How large is the spider?
About the size of, say, a certain rainbow dragon's head.
Okay. So, minor illusion. You create a sound or an image of an object within range that lasts for about a minute. The illusion also ends if you dismiss it as an action. If you create a sound, its volume can range from a whisper to a scream. Okay, and keep in mind this is an illusion. So describe to me how you.
It'll start with a slight skittering sound, like the faint clacking of giant jaws, and maybe a little added tingling along the back of their neck.
Okay, so minor illusion, it you can't touch people with it,
Ah,
and it's a sound or an image. So if it's a spider, it's silent.
oh, okay. I see. So sound or image only?
Correct. But if you wanted to have a spider sneak up into their periphery, you could.
I was gonna say,
Yes.
Kyte, Aero's standing next to going like, just make it dangle from the ceiling slowly, just come down in front of him.
Got it.
He's so evil.
Okay, this is interesting because you're attempting to do this to scare Sydney. Interesting. Go ahead and roll a stealth check for me because there is a somatic component to this spell. You do have to say it, but roll stealth.
Okay. Oh god. Okay. This better be a good one. It's a 10.
Okay, Sydney, could you roll a perception check?
Roll perception. Check up his ass.
Roll another one. Roll another one. Roll another one.
I roll a 12
12 total.
total.
Okay. So you do hear Kyte say something. And you could turn to him. And before you see a dragonborn head-sized spider start to creep down a web from the ceiling.
So since can I do something?
Okay, what are you planning?
Since I'm already facing him, Sydney panics, takes out his crossbow, and accidentally shoots a bolt towards Kyte.
Roll an attack for me. Play stupid games, win
Oh
stupid
no!
prizes, Kyte.
7.
Fun.
You rolled a 7?
A 6 plus 1 for my crossbow.
Kyte, what's your AC?
My AC is 14.
It misses. So you hear, and then it.
Oh wait, no, wait, that was for damage. I do hit, right?
It. You have to roll a d20. You have to roll an attack, so it's a d20 plus.
Oh, okay. No, I rolled damage, which was only a
He was so
six-sided.
he was so bloodthirsty.
Okay, so no, I need to roll a 20. I rolled
You
a.
need to roll.
Yeah, I rolled damage, which was only a 6-sided die.
Okay, so yeah, roll to hit him first.
Okay, roll to hit. Let me cancel this out. Oops, I accidentally rolled 2. Let me just roll 1.
Really bloodthirsty.
Oh, I roll a 15.
It hits. Roll for damage.
Okay, now I roll for damage. 4.
Kyte, you are impaled in the shoulder with a crossbow bolt. As you just watch Sydney turn around, see the spider, draw a crossbow with surprising speed, and and now you take 4 points of damage.
Kyte blinks at the bolt in his shoulder, and looks up with a deadpan and goes, "Well, at least we know you're alert."
Why did you do that? I could have shot your head off. I will make you pay in ways you cannot possibly imagine. You small, inconsiderate. I hate you.
Meanwhile, Aero's sitting in the back now going like, well, he got ass hurt. And I enjoy seeing him suffer. I guess everybody wins.
Alright,
Let's just
so
say this experience has only proven that there's a balance to the universe.
Yeah.
Strong healed me for 4.
it turns out that Icestrand has karma and needs gun control. Alright, so after you yank out the crossbow bolt and hand it back to Sydney,
Sydney says I'm not healing that.
Noted. Hold on, let me just. Sydney shot Kyte. And then I'm gonna put minor illusion. It's a little drawing of a spider. With a little butt rope. So. After investigating the hub of the mines and not really being able to glean anything from it, what is the group doing? Are you going to go back up the way you came and go find Zoran? What are you guys doing?
Should we
I
discuss?
vote we go up.
I think we should go up.
I think that if we haven't found anything yet besides the spider, like we don't. The spider was, yes, hard to kill, but I don't think that's exactly what killed all the miners. Besides, the one that was with a pile of goo. But I mean, if
Very
it's
yummy,
dead, it doesn't
might
hurt
add.
to explore a little bit more. Maybe take some diamonds with us.
I like the rogues idea. We could use a little bit of extra cash.
I'm poor.
Okay, so are you guys going to chaotic neutral your way around the...
I'm going to chaotic evil.
No,
dear.
chaotic evil will be setting it on fire. You what? We're taking some and fucking off.
Sydney would like to do something to Kyte real quick, because he doesn't want Kyte to get any money.
Okay.
Sydney casts sleep on Kyte.
Against the sorcerer, brave little dragon.
Okay. So bear with me for 1 second here. Sleep sends creatures into a magical slumber. Okay. Bear with me for 1 second.
No.
So, creatures within a 20-foot point that you choose within range in ascending order of current hit points, ignoring unconscious creatures.
Is Aero near is Aero near Kyte, out of curiosity?
Not necessarily. I was, but now I'm kind of just.
Is Aero within 20 feet of Kyte? Is my
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay, I have 2 targets then.
He
Okay.
probably cannot fall asleep because he
Question. Okay, a creature's hit points must be equal or less than the remaining total. Oh god, sorry, this is a complicated spell.
I'm sorry.
This spell sends creatures into a magical slumber. 5d8. The total is how many hit points of creatures this spell can affect. Creatures within 20 feet of a point you choose within range are affected in ascending order of their current hit points. Starting with the creature that has the lowest current hit points, each creature affected by the spell falls unconscious until the spell ends. The sleeper takes damage, or someone uses an action to shake or slap the sleeper awake. Subtract each creature's hit points from the total before moving on to the creature with the next lowest hit points. Wolven, can you please... Or Sydney, can you roll 5d8, please?
5d8?
Seems excessive.
It really does.
5d8.
5d8.
Let's go. Also, I have a follow-up action when they tried to evade this.
They can't evade it.
They can't? Okay, I rolled a 16 total.
You rolled 5d8?
Yeah, I didn't get great rolls. I got like 1 8, 2 2s,
Wait.
3, and a 1.
Do player characters fall under the classification of creature?
Can
That
you
seems like
cast player?
Seems like it's a big
In the
designation.
other one, in the
No.
yeah, in the last
Wait.
thing that was used, it said players and creatures separately.
Yeah, exactly.
No, sorry.
Okay.
Yes, you can. It does count for player characters.
Oh,
So, a Kyte, how many hit points do you have?
10.
Kyte, you crumple to the ground.
Sorry,
in
how do hit
a
points work?
uh we can get to that in a moment. Kyte, you crumple to the ground in a deep slumber. Aero, how many hit points do you have?
We're, I have 18.
You have 18. Okay, bear with me. Uh,
They're lucky I rolled terribly.
okay. So, Aero, you are not affected.
Yay.
So,
Like it, Sydney.
I do apologize. I am still learning how to DM.
No
But
worries.
Kyte, you are snoozing on the floor. And Aero, you feel kind of woozy, you feel kind of sleepy, and then you manage to shake it off.
I yell out, "Nobody
Aero
wake
watches
him."
Kyte plummet to the ground and she kind of stares at him for a second, and then up at Sydney. He's like, "All right, fuck you, I guess." And then he picks up Kyte over his shoulder and is like, "All right, let's go."
Um, Aero, make a strength check to pick up Kyte.
How?
Because he is in a dead sleep right now.
Which dice do I roll?
You're gonna roll a d20 plus your strength modifier.
I rolled in 16.
16. Okay.
Plus strength is 18.
Can I do a
Okay.
follow-up action on him? I'm sorry, one last thing, I promise.
Okay, so first off, Aero, you do manage to kind of grab Kyte under the arms and then kind of sling him over your back. And, get comfy. And yeah, you manage to carry him. He's not heavy. And Sydney, what was your follow-up action?
I wanted to take out my pencil and draw a mustache on him.
All right. How intricate are we going with this mustache?
Just a simple mustache and a goatee and a unibrow.
Okay. Just
And
roll
then
a
that's
straight
it.
d20 for me.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get
No,
revenge.
it's okay. No, just roll a straight d20. And add your dexterity modifier.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I get a 20.
This shit is the most realistic fake mustache and unibrow, and you even managed to doodle on his horns a little bit. You're pretty sure that you hid like a penciled in dick in there somewhere. It's really nice.
You just made me suck up water to my nose.
All right, so are you guys going to investigate the mines a little further before going back up, or Aero, what are you doing?
Right.
Aero is leaving.
Yeah, the shit was being weird. Meanwhile, in the meantime, while Sid is drawing on Kyte, Arrow's just sitting there going like, "Do you fucking mind? Like, you're not helping anyone."
Fuck with the Dragonborn. Get fucked by the Dragonborn. Those are the rules of the land. 'Tis the rules of the land.
I mean, he's not wrong. All right, Aero, did you want to try to look around for some diamonds or other such things that are worth
Arrow
money?
would like to leave with at least something in his pocket so that he could at least pay for the food that he got from the lady.
All right. Go ahead and roll an investigation check. So that's a d20 plus your investigation.
I got a 13 plus. Where's investigation? Oh, investigation plus 4.
13 plus 4 is 17. All right. So it's a little bit difficult because you've got a tiefling dressed in various robes and such, slung dead weight over your shoulders. But you do manage to kind of tear away some of the cobwebs from some of the mine carts, and it does take a little while, about 20 or so minutes of searching, but you do manage to end up with a small cluster of various precious gemstones. So
Yay.
you could add about 10 gold worth of gemstones to
Sweet.
your inventory.
Where do I
You just jot it
add?
down. All right. Um, and with that, is the rest of the group, are we all going back up from whence we came?
Can I gather some spider silk to see if it's worth anything?
Sure. As you go over to the spider silk, you see it is very, very, and when you reach out to touch it, it leaves almost like a tingly sensation across your fingers. And so you could scoop some of that up, and now you have a small satchel of spider silk.
Cool.
I want to pocket a little bit and put it next to my nutter butter and then follow everyone else.
All right. So you do that and pocket some silk, tuck it away next to the um, ever-filling jar of nutter butter. And we are making
I
our way.
um
Go ahead.
I would like to take some too.
Sure. So you guys are all just kind of pocketing this abyssal spider silk. So you eventually, after investigating the cavern, taking what you will from it, Kyte had also taken the lapel or the label pin from the corpse of the foreman, and you make your way back up the mine shaft. So you guys had it was pretty steep on the way down. It does take you a bit longer on the way back up, just because now you're traveling up against gravity. And as you guys are walking, are you trying to be stealthy? Are you trying to keep an eye out? What are you guys trying to do?
Aero's just trying to go up because he's carrying this twat on his shoulder, and he's like, "Just get out of here. I don't care. Got what I wanted."
Sydney's keeping
Okay.
a lookout.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check. And is anyone helping Sydney keep a lookout? Nope. All right. So yeah, just roll a perception check.
I have a 13 total.
Okay. As you are walking along, you notice that the um things are pretty uneventful on the way back up. Eventually you get up the much steeper path of the mine, um, to which eventually you can start to hear the water rushing again as you come back up to where it skirts along the side of the subterranean river. Um, the stalactites and stalagmites, very still, does not, you don't sense anything off or strange about them. You pass by the desiccated corpse of the treasure chest mimic that kind of just got kicked off to one side. But eventually you guys do make it safely to the to the entrance of the mines, to which a small crowd of villagers have gathered, including Zora,
Oh,
who kind of stands up and looks at you all in a, my god, they're alive. Except for the one who, is he okay? And he kind of points to Kyte, who is
S-
slumped over Arrow's shoulder.
Sydney
He's
just
fine.
says
He's
he's just
asleep.
taking a nap.
Okay, far for me to tell him where to take a nap, but like, okay, did you find down there? He kind of gets up and leans in and helps Aero kind of lay Kyte down on the grass, and Kyte's kind of snoring away. All right, is anyone responding to Zoran's question?
Can I do a
We
perception
saw.
check?
Wait, what was the name of the monster again? The
It was
first one.
I was gonna say, Sydney, hold that thought for a second. Ariadne, the spider, it was a large spider, and it was very, very dark. I didn't describe the color, but it was a very
The
dark
first
blue.
one.
Okay, so the first
The
one
first one.
was a almost squid-like creature, long tentacles, glowing bright eyes. It's called a dark mantle.
Okay. I'm just gonna nervously look at her and let the others explain then.
Okay. And Sydney, you wanted to make a perception check?
Yeah, I'd like to look at the crowd and see if there's anybody suspicious watching us come out of the mine and watch our actions.
Okay, go ahead and roll perception.
Ooh boy. 19 plus 5.
Wow. Gazing out into the crowd, you can see a lot of unfamiliar faces. Zoran is the only one that you see that you recognize. Bear with me 1 second. And kind of looking out and scanning the crowd, you do notice that there is one person who seems to be watching you all very intently. And with that high of a roll, you can tell that this is a young man. Long, sort of light brown hair with golden streaks through it. The long pointed ears of someone of elven heritage. Young looking, but with an elf, you know that they could be very, very old and not show it. Kind of watching all of you very intently. And notices you watching and kind of disappears into the crowd.
Interesting.
All right. Is anyone explaining to Zoran what happened, or are you all just kind of
I think Cherry was.
Aero just wants to eat. He doesn't care too much. He's like, I want to get paid, and I want to eat. So how about food first, and then we can talk.
So let's how about we go back to the tavern and eat and rest up a little bit, then we can tell everyone.
Absolutely.
I would like to talk to the elf, since I know Elfish.
Okay, so
I think he left, so.
The elf did kind of step back into the crowd and disappear. You could try to make a perception check as you walk back to the tavern, though, to see if you can spot him.
Can I help?
Yeah, absolutely. So in that case, you could roll a d20, add your perception modifier, and then do that twice, take whatever number's higher.
Okay. So I get a 15. The highest was a 15.
Okay. So, yeah, he rolled real poorly on that. As you walk back to the tavern, Zoran absolutely, he's like, yes, come, lunch is on me. And kind of puts a hand to his chest and could tell that whatever you guys have been through, you've been through quite a bit in the several hours that you've been down there. and eventually you all make your way back to the Swallow's Tail. This crowd kind of coming with you, there are people who are asking questions like, what did you see down there? And Zoran told us you went to the mine, and just townspeople. And eventually, once you get back and sit down, there are people pulling up chairs and kind of pushing tables together. And as you come into the tavern again, and Talia looks up from the bar, sees that you're back, and immediately nods and gets to work on preparing some food for you guys. You can see Toast running back and forth across the floor, ferrying different types of drinks and small appetizers, and so you hear that, and then he pops up and you know, does his little dragon thing, and eventually you are all seated around a large makeshift sort of meeting area with various drinks and plates of food, some fresh seafood, vegetables, and yeah, and so Zoran kind of takes a pint of ale for himself and leans forward and says, so what did you see down there? You mentioned...
Can I say something?
What's up?
So I just want to say Ariadne helped with preparing the food and stuff.
Okay, so you want to try to help prepare the food?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If anybody doesn't want to say what happened, I'll let everybody else have a chance to say what happened first, but I have something.
Aero speaks up, and he starts explaining first about the squid they encountered that was quickly nearly turned into some nutter butter type of mix. And then the chest that nearly ripped his hand off, and then eventually landing on the spider that was capable of talking to them and was about the size of several tables in the tavern put together. Eventually coming to the conclusion that the spider was indeed killed, but it recognized one of them for whatever reason.
Okay, so you are choosing to disclose all of them, Zoran?
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything to add?
After everybody else is disclosing what they'd like to disclose about the situation, Sydney would like to get up on the stage and sing a tale about what happened.
Okay, roll a performance check.
But after everybody else that wants to chime in first, I don't want to take anybody's thunder away.
So the only thing Ariadne says is that he describes the terrifying detail of the eyes of the first monster.
All right.
Is the tiefling person still there?
Yeah. Talia has kind of been just filling up everyone's drinks, making sure that everyone who's not drinking has juice, water, and her and Toast have pretty much been just catering to this crowd the whole time. So yeah, she's definitely around.
When she walks by, I'll raise my nutter butter and say, "Lifesaver."
Talia will kind of turn to you and just kind of nod, like, all right then. You know, that never seems to run out, does it?
No, it's still really good though.
Oh, well, I'm glad you like it. And then she kind of nods, and Toast kind of and he's got his head on the table, just kind of looking up at you with his big orange eyes, and kind of long tongue flicks out and licks a nostril.
Yum.
And Toast is kind of little tail starts thumping a little bit, and he's looking at you, and he's looking at the nutter butter, and he's looking at you, and he's looking at the nutter butter, and he's...
I hold out my spoon full of it.
he opens his mouth wide and starts going to town on this. And he's like a dog with a spoon of peanut butter. Like, he is very pleased. He kind of does a little like,
He's a dog with a spoon of peanut butter, but he's a dragon.
yes.
With a spoon of nutter butter.
As long as
Well, these parallels, people.
as long as Draedon doesn't put that nutter butter any place questionable, I think we'll be fine.
Sydney.
I'm starting to wonder if that spoon is actually attached to Scarlet, considering that this whole time Scarlet has yet to put the spoon down, and there's always
No.
nutty butter
I
on it.
put it down. I put it down during the fights. Both of the fights, because I'm holding both. Well, maybe I had my spoon, like, in my hand against my weapon while I was fighting. Was keeping it safe.
So you haven't put it down.
She's just been
Okay,
dual
let's
wielding
just say-
axe and spoon.
Let's just say Scarlet has like a specific part of her outfit that has a strap for her spoon.
I love it.
Aren't I wearing, like, chainmail with pockets or something? Hold on.
Yes, but spoon strap. Yes, but spoon strap.
I'm wearing... No, I'm just wearing a breastplate. So I definitely do have pockets.
Spoon strap.
Spoon trap.
Just like a holster for the spoon.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love it.
I have a separate holster for my peanut butter, for my nutter butter, and my spoon.
Yes,
That's-
we love it.
This is what I live for.
And then
This
I
is the
like to
lore.
imagine that at one point I'll get like a little glass jar that I'll fill with water so I can clean off my spoon.
Alright, so you've just got like a murky peanut butter water jar.
I could also
So
throw it at
gross.
Sydney if anything goes awry. So, or Kyte if it happens again.
Fair, fair. Alright, so, Sydney, can you roll a performance check for me?
Indeedly doodly. Performance check. Let's go. Booyah. It's 13 plus 7, baby.
20. Not bad. So basically, as you are serenading the wonderful people of the tavern and regaling them with stories of, you know, maybe a little bit embellished truth, you know, because you're a bard, is what you do. And, you know, people are very appreciative. They start clapping. Yeah, no, you've done really well on this. So, and I would say, you know, with that, you probably get, you know, another 2 gold thrown your way.
Yay.
In the middle of this performance, there comes a loud.
Sydney yells out, "Thank you!"
And I want to say, you know, the spell only lasts an hour, so just going over the details with Zoran, and he's kind of nodding and, you know, even kind of jotting down some notes here and there, just like, right there, a giant spider, and like a bit in awe of everything that he's hearing. Eventually, Kyte. So there comes, yeah.
Why does my face feel funny?
All right. Just don't mind me just dying a little bit.
Sound like Batman.
So, Zoran kind of leans forward at one point and is kind of holding his head, looking a little bit confused, and looks to you all and says, what did the spider look like? What's, you know, giant spider aside, which is fucking weird enough as it is, but what did it look
Aero speaks up and he's like, well, it was kind of bluish about the size of a shed. Had a symbol on its back. One of us drew it down just for the hell of it. I can't remember which one, but we got the symbol like drawn somewhere.
Okay. And he kind of nods and um looks a bit confused and concerned for a moment before going, which one of you drew it down?
So was this like a thing last time? Or
Yes, Sydney, you had
Yep.
drawn down the symbol of the spider. Do you disclose?
Do I disclose that? Before I disclose that, I ask, I might have written it down. I'm more of a musician than an artist, to be honest. But out of curiosity, might I ask, why are you curious about this information?
Make a persuasion check.
Yeah. Let me see. Oh, 6 plus 7. Not great.
Okay. So he kind of looks at you, narrows his eyes a little bit. Just wanting to know if anything magical or otherworldly is at play here. That's all he says.
I see. Are you having any other problems throughout the town that might be, as you say, otherworldly or magically?
Not that I'm aware, which is why I asked.
Okay, fair enough.
He kind of just takes a moment to kind of look at you like, who are these people? And like, I know they just solved a really big problem for us, but at the same time, where'd you all come from? And
Your
he
mom's
doesn't
house.
wow. He doesn't really say much else, just just making sure that, trying to gather information. That's all he says.
Understood.
Do you decide to show him the picture?
I do not.
Okay. All right. So you are all able to enjoy a filling meal and a, enjoyable sort of revelry in your accomplishments. Talia eventually comes around with a bunch of little pastries that kind of have various berries and nuts, and they look really nice. They're like kind of like little pies, and they've got like this flaky crust on them cut into shapes. And she sprinkles some sugar on top of him before kind of like tapping Toast on the head, to which he leans forward and like a little bit of like just a jet of fire comes out, kind of caramelizes the sugar on top before passing out pastries to the table, and just kind of waves at you guys and says, don't worry about paying me for any of this. You guys have a big problem for us, so it's on the house. To which Zoran replies, that is true. There's issue of your payment. And he grabs his bag from behind him. And I believe I said that it was 100 piece to solve the problem. So he takes out. It looks like he had been arranging this while you guys had been away. And he takes out 8 small bags and passes one out to each of you, and you can all put 100 gold on your currency.
Booyah.
As Zoran gets near Kyte, Kyte holds up the lapel from the foreman and asks, "Does this perhaps look familiar?"
Zoran's face kind of drops for a moment, and it does. I'm sorry to hear of that. He was a good man. And he'll take the badge from you and kind of tuck it away safely in the breast pocket of his jacket, and says, "I will make sure that this gets to his family. Thank you."
May I like do some kind of like truthful test or something to Zoran? Because
Yeah, you want to
I don't
tell
know,
if he's
because-
being genuine or not?
yeah, because Ari is feels sad but also very suspicious.
Yeah, go ahead. Make it, that would be an insight check. So what you would do is you would roll a d20, and then you would add because you are proficient, because it's a proficiency of yours. 100 gold each. Yes. So that was you add 100 gold.
Wait, so do I roll for insight?
Yes.
Oh, I got 13 plus 4, 17.
Okay. From what you can tell, he is genuinely upset about the passing of the foreman. As you had known previously, Zoran was the second in command in the mine, which does make him the new foreman. And it does seem like there was some sort of camaraderie there. So, from what you understand, yes, he is quite upset by this. Grateful that his comrade was avenged. But at the same time, there's also a confusion surrounding all of this. Like, this is a lot to take in. So,
Aero, like, elbows Sydney casually. Is like, just show him the fucking drawing. What are you holding from him? He just lost one of his buddies.
I use my message towards him to speak in his mind. If something otherworldly is happening here, and there might be people around that are part of it, it might not be the best idea showing magical rooms to the common folk.
Aero just kind of sighs. We're just here to do our job. I don't care.
So, Aero, were you saying this out loud, or were you kind of nudging him and trying to be stealthy?
No, he just does not care.
Alright. Zoran kind of gives you a look and looks back to you, Sydney, and says, "If there is anything that we should know about before going back in there to clear out the mine of corpses, you should probably show us."
Sydney sighs, flips through his book, and throws it down on the table. Do you recognize this, perhaps?
Zoran kind of leans forward and stares at the drawing for a moment before looking back up at you all and says, "You said this creature talks. Did they talk inside the mine or outside the with a mouth? How did it communicate?
It just talked. Like it didn't move its mouth or anything. We could just hear the voice. Almost like as if it was not necessarily in our heads, but it was clearly audible.
Okay. He kind of nods and kind of looks at you guys and looks back at it. I have seen this, but I don't remember where. Tell you what, if I hear anything about it, I will get back to you. I will come tell Talia. But this is familiar. Cannot remember. And he kind of like nods and looks at you, Sydney, and says, "Thank you."
Can I ask him a question?
Of course.
You're welcome. I'm sorry. I just, with all the things that are at play, I just wanted to be careful to who I showed this, so sorry for being hesitant. But with that aside, do you know anyone in the town or any, like, mages that might know what this signal might be?
Kind of thinks for a minute. Well, if you're wanting... Okay, he's pretty weird, but if you're wanting to know about magic and all that, you're going to want to talk to Aurelio.
Aurelio? I see. Sydney writes that name down in their notebook. And where might I be able to find this person?
If you take... And he kind of leans back in his chair and looks out the tavern door and points along the road. Now, for those of you who have been in town for a little bit, I will post a map of this later. The Swallow's Tail sits on the edge of town, just as you kind of come in through the South Road. All along the street here, this is called Seaside Shanty Avenue, and it's filled with shops and tents and homesteads, before eventually curving out into the docks where large, like it's quite a large port town. And he kind of points and he says, you go along the end almost to the docks. Aurelia's Ornaments is on the edge of the street. Big, gaudy, you can't miss it. There's a big sign out front, and Aurelia is usually there during the daylight hours. After that, shop closes, but you can probably find him there. Closest thing that we have to the stage.
Thank you very much. That is very useful. And what did you say this person's name was one more time, just so I can write it down? I apologize.
His name is Aurelio.
Aurelio.
Ari,
at the end of the dock.
Ari paints the name on her arm, so she remembers.
Okay. I posted the whatchamacallit, the spelling in chat.
Hey, I'm back.
I was gonna say, hi Marread! I'm glad you're back.
Marread at 100 gold.
For so long.
That's okay, it happens.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, my friend just really needed a chat time. He has a lot of things happening in his family.
Marread, make sure you add 100 golds as a reward.
Okay. What did you do?
Kyte. I did Kyte. No. It was a reward from the quest.
Awesome, thanks.
Right. So, basically, where we are right now is everyone in the tavern. You have come back up through the mines and are just sitting around a table with Zoran, the miner, recounting various bits of the tale from being down in the mine. One thing as well to note is that Kyte has a mustache, goatee, and unibrow, and some dicks drawn on his face. Because Sydney put him to sleep.
Kyte was basically bullied.
Deserve that.
He deserved it.
Do I have to roll to walk past the mirror and get it washed off?
Make a perception check for me.
Okay.
For some reason, I have holy water on me.
You have holy water on you.
17.
17. As you pass by, perhaps you're going on your way to the washroom, you notice, in the mirror that there is a very well drawn mustache, goatee, and unibrow. And you kind of go to wipe it off, and it stains a little bit, but you can manage to go to the bathroom and wipe it off. There's like a dick drawn in there, and you're like, how did she get a dick incorporated with the beard? I'm not even gonna question it.
I can't say much about the dicks, but I might consider growing some facial hair.
All right. So, I know that everyone had inquired about a rest. And, Talia does come over to you guys once you're finished. The food and drink clears away the plates. Toast is carrying a bunch of empty bottles on his back and just kind of like clink, 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 clink as he's kind of and just very happily helping clean up. And Talia does say, come up to you and kind of knock on the table and say, I know it's early in the day, but if you wanted, there are some rooms up for board. This, you guys would have known by now that the Swallow's Tail is a tavern. It is also an inn. It is multi-tiered, quite large. So she does say, if you wanted to rent some rooms for the night or a couple of nights, you're always welcome. She kind of gives you a warm smile and doesn't bother you too much. She can see that you guys have been through a lot today. But the offer is there if you guys wanted to rent rooms later on. But what are you all doing?
Actually, let everybody else go first. I've been talking a lot.
Yeah, I'll let everybody else answer first.
Kirby, Qrow, are you guys wanting to do anything?
Can I look for that person? The elf?
So you want to look for the elf? Yeah, absolutely. You would have to roll perception, yes.
Can I join? Can I assist, I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just follow them from behind, curious.
Sure.
I rolled a 16.
A 16. And you could go ahead and roll again. And if it's higher, let me know.
It's not.
It's not. Okay. So here, bear with me for 1 second. As you are kind of looking around the tavern, you do not see this elven person around. It is, it's fairly busy in here, but from what you can see, no, they're not present. And Ariadne, what did you want to do?
So as I drew here, she's just illustrating the name of the person on her arm. So she's just sitting there.
She's just drawing Aurelio in pretty letters.
Yeah.
That's so sweet. Absolutely. All right. What's the rest of the party wanting to do?
What time is it?
At this point, it's about 2 in the afternoon.
I want to spar with someone.
You want to spar with someone? Who are you sparring?
Yeah. I don't know. Who wants to spar?
I volunteer.
Not me.
All right.
The druid wants to volunteer to battle.
The tiny, tiny, very fae-like elven druid girl.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
No, that's fair.
Okay, I'm down. Let's have this whole B plot of us sparring.
Can I
Alright.
notice them doing this?
Be mindful, Ari has no idea who she is, where she is, or what she's doing, so she will probably fail.
Kyte
Alright.
sees this as an opportunity to make some side cash. By...
Yeah, I was gonna suggest.
Yep. Let's. All right, Rainbow Dragon, call truce for
All
a bit.
succubus
Take a
woman destroys Kyte.
Kyte and Sydney look each other in the eyes, both having the same idea. They smile at each other and shake each other's hands as they clear the tables out and throw a hat down.
How old is Scarlet supposed to be?
Oh, I'm like 600 years old. Hold on.
Oh.
Let me
Well,
double.
Ari's like 15.
I'm 404 years old. Thank you if you got that. If you got that joke. How old are you? 8?
In gameplay, 15.
Talia sees this and goes, "Oi, oi, oi. Not in my fucking bar." And then she'll look at you all and say, "If you're going to be doing impromptu fucking gambling, fighting bullshit, take it out back." And she'll kind of like wave you all out of the tavern and into there is a back patio area, but even farther beyond that there is some grass that eventually slopes down into sand and beach, and like it's a gorgeous seaside view here. But she'll just be like, "You're not, no fucking way." And then Toast will kind of look at you all like big eyes, like, "No, please."
Very confused little ghost.
So I'm gonna say both of you go ahead and roll a d20.
Before they do that, can I gather a crowd?
Would you want to gather a
a
crowd?
Yeah, and
D10
charge
on
them.
What?
Yep.
Just roll a straight d20 for me, and then add your
Charisma.
Scarlet. Add your string and Druid. And Druid add. Sorry. Add your charisma, please.
Charisma. Where's charisma?
I have a 15 total.
Okay, I got 22.
22?
Plus 2 charisma.
Oh, okay then.
You rolled a natural 20?
Wait. Oh, wait, I accidentally clicked on initiative and I rolled 20. Does that still count? Initiative is plus 1, and I rolled 20 plus 1.
Okay, so you rolled a nat 20, but let me grab your... Okay, so you rolled a 22 against Scarlet's 15.
Oh, no. I don't actually want to hurt her, though.
Yeah, that's why I said, like, just roll a straight... So, as you two are, you know, preparing for this sparring session, Sydney, you said that you wanted to gather a...
Yeah, I yell out at Kyte, hey, you get the money, I gather crowd?
You got it.
You two were shooting each other and trying to cast spells on each other, and now you're both like, ha, money.
Hey, money speaks all languages, my friends.
Exactly. It transcends any
Oh my
language
god.
or language.
Could I get, Sydney, could you roll a persuasion check against the...
A persuasion? Okay.
Yes, and I am going to...
Oh, yeah, baby.
I was gonna say, if I need to help you, I will.
I don't think you'll need to help me on this one.
What did you get?
Just a 12 plus 7.
19. You gather a sizable crowd. And, go ahead...
Hear me out. Hear me out, Sydney. But why?
Oh, my small friends. Life is boring. Let's have a little fun.
Think of it this way. We'll buy you more art supplies with some of the profits.
Yes, I yell out to the crowd, step on up far and wide and see these two dynamos of destiny face each other. We have the Nutter Butter champion like no other in one corner, and the knockout artist with the strength of amazingness. Just 5 silver. No, wait. Make that 7 silver per. Just give it to my little friend here, Kyte, and you can watch the battle of the century.
4-to-1 odds on the fighter and 10-to-1 odds on the wood elf.
You guys are fucking
What was
insane.
it?
I love this.
Art supplies, by the way. Ari's paintbrushes are like from the palace thing, like royal, like magic stuff, so it can't really be replaced.
Whoa!
So if she loses it,
spoilers.
she's screwed.
We'll bribe you somehow.
Yeah, we'll buy you paints or parchment or something. Yeah, we'll get something
you'd
nice.
We'll get you something nice.
Hey,
Alright,
we take care of our talents. Just saying.
Exactly.
By the way, what Ari just said, she didn't say that. She doesn't know that. Just spoilers.
That's just like meta.
That's Paris speaking. That's Paris speaking.
Yeah, that's Paris speaking. Okay. So. Okay, bear with me 1 second. I have to roll for something.
Oh God.
If we need to roll persuasion against Ariadne to like go into this, we will.
Yeah, I have a +7 in persuasion. I'm ready to go.
So, Ariadne, as Scarlet readies herself, she pulls out 2 long, wickedly curved scimitars, kind of looks at you, and then puts them back. Because she's like, I'm gonna fucking slice this kid to ribbons. And
what
she
now?
scimitars,
Let me search this
very
up.
long, wickedly curved swords, kind of puts them back and be like, maybe I won't kill the little kid today.
Oh
Puts
god!
her,
Oh my god!
puts
I'll
her,
save that for tomorrow.
for tomorrow, puts her weapons to the
You're gonna
side
kill me tomorrow?
and lunges at you. You, with a flick of your paintbrush, draw a sigil in the air, and then just a burst of thunderous energy. Vines like curling around your arms and blooming into like a cascade of beautiful flowers, and just a surge of druidic energy at Scarlet blasts her back 15 feet, and she lands flat on her back. And the crowd goes wild. You have people that are throwing coins and, placing bets, and some people who are just like cursing themselves because they thought that this was going to get squashed. And from all of this, you kind of help Scarlet up and apologize a little bit. Just a little bit impressed,
That's
probably.
profusely. What the hell? Of course.
Like, this was just sheer reaction from you. And from your endeavor, Kyte and Sydney, you said it was 7 silver each?
7 silver to watch, and then Kyte had the bets.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say that out of this, you guys got 19 gold and 6 silver.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
I look at
Nice.
Kyte, and I was like, you know what? I think we could be friends.
May I
You know
do
what?
something?
I think so too.
Yes, we make money. We friends now.
May I make an action now? After she, like, picks me back up.
What are you doing?
I would like to just, like, pick her up and just jump as high as I can. Because I know how high I could jump in this game. It's stupid. I would like to just jump as high as I can with the child.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
question. Ariadne, are you letting her pick you up?
Yes. I
Okay,
deserve it.
go ahead and roll an athletics check for me,
Oh,
Scarlet.
I would absolutely love to. I rolled a 6. That's a 6 total, by the way. I had a +3.
How high can you jump?
I don't know. Isn't it like height plus something? I don't remember the exact equation. I'm 190 centimeters tall though, which is over like 6'4".
Okay, when you make a high jump, you leap into the air a number of feet equal to 3 plus your strength modifier. If you move at least 10 feet on foot immediately before the jump. So are you doing a standing jump?
No, I'm like picking her up and just trying to like jump as high as I can over the crowd to be like, whoa, look at her, she's beating me, my ass, whoa.
Okay, so with it, you pick her up, you manage to jump over the heads of the crowds, almost clocking a couple with your feet as you do so. It's a little more impressive in your head.
Definitely thought it would be.
All right. And is anyone else doing anything before kind of during or after this fight?
Sydney's watching and seeing if that elf appears again.
Okay.
I was just
Go ahead.
wondering why is he still around these behemoths?
Go ahead and make a perception check for me to look for the elf.
I would love to know.
Would anybody like to help me?
Me.
Yeah, Kirby's gonna help you.
Okay. Oh, and if I'm talking too much, guys, don't be afraid to let me know. I'll let the other people do stuff too. I don't want to take over too much.
Totally fine.
Oh my goodness. Yes. I'll roll again just to check, but I got a 17 plus 5. And do you want me to roll again just to see if I get anything higher?
Yeah, well you roll twice, because you have advantage.
Oh my god. 19 plus 5.
As you're looking through the crowd, you spot them leaning up against the side of the building. Kind of surreptitiously watching you is the elf with the long pointed ears and the pulled back hair, kind of cascades into a braid down the side of their face. And you know, simple but elegant clothing, and a long staff that you didn't really see before because of the crowd, kind of affixed to their back, a quarterstaff with a curling, twisting, sort of almost natural looking clawed appearance on the top, grasping what you would know as a refined altisite crystal, and green, almost intensely green eyes.
Sydney cast sleep.
Well, when one party member perceives something, is the other do the other party members also become aware?
If you alert them. I just added that in as like flair.
Okay. No, but I mean, like, once, for example, if Sydney sees the elf like trying to be surreptitiously watching us, do we all become aware of that elf?
So, you mean our minds connected?
Well, I mean, like,
I can help
I'm trying to figure out
this.
party. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the party dynamic.
I can count message towards you to help.
Yeah, that.
Can I do a couple things real quick? I'm sorry to take over, but I just want to try to get this guy so he doesn't run away again.
Right.
I messaged. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Curry. Could I do that?
It depends on what you're doing.
Okay. I didn't know if it was allowed, like, or not or if my perception check counted as like an action or something.
That really only counts if you're initiative.
Okay. So I put my hands in my pocket and I point towards Kyte, and I tell him in his mind, "Hey, he's here. That guy that was watching us earlier. I'm gonna cast sleep on him, just in case it misses or just in case it doesn't work out. Could you help me get him?"
Yes, I was thinking of casting invisibility on either Kirby or Aero to get them to help them sneak up with their already high stealth.
Okay. Are you gonna do that? I whispered in his mind, okay, so are you gonna do that right now? I just need to know so when I cast sleep on him.
Yeah, go for that. Actually, are we aware of Who does have higher stealth, Aero or Kirby?
My stealth is +5.
My stealth is +7.
+7. Wow.
We should make a perception check of that. That's kind of metagame, though.
I know, right? Okay. Then, while you cast sleep, I will cast. While you are casting sleep, I'll cast invisibility on Aero and get him to serve as a plan B.
Okay, so I tell Kyte that I'm gonna count down from 5 to 0, and when it hits 0, I'm gonna cast sleep. Try to cast the invisibility by then.
Okay.
Okay, so interesting. So you're gonna try to cast sleep on this elvish person?
I
Yes.
think that works.
Okay. It is. Okay, go ahead and roll a stealth check for me.
Sydney?
Yes.
Okay, let me see. Oh no, I'm at a disadvantage. Because I have good armor to give me HP, but that armor also makes my stealth go down. Oh, 12.
Okay. Bear with me for like 2 seconds.
Yeah. Because it's tandem actions just created complications.
Man, I should have. Oh, I can't even cast Bardic Inspiration on myself. Never mind.
Sorry, was that what was that?
What?
What was that? Like what roll did you do?
Oh, 9 plus 3, 12 total.
He rolled a 13.
Oh!
As you start to sorry. And it's 90 feet. So as you start to speak, he notices the movement of your hands because like this is it's verbal somatic. The movement of your hands, the way that you're talking, he slips behind the tavern again and is out of sight.
Darn it.
You can attempt to follow.
Yeah, let's.
Does everybody want to follow?
I would like to follow.
Okay. So are you guys following the...
I guess so.
Yep.
Okay.
Even though Aero's not impressed, it's like, I just wanted to sit down for 2 minutes.
Yeah, I have like
You
one
are.
spell slot.
Okay. So suffice it to say the group is saying their goodbyes and you know, thank you, and come again. So I'm gonna need someone to make a perception check for me as you are trying to follow this person, pardon me, out into the crowd and locate them. You want to make one? Is anyone helping Aero?
Sure, I can help.
Okay, am I there or not? I don't remember.
Yes, you are all following. Like Sydney, are you rounding up the gang and kind of just saying, like, we need to follow this person?
Yes, I'm using a cantrip on message to message everybody we're after them. I want to get water again!
So Sydney has cast message and is relaying this information to them. Message is a cantrip, so they can use it over and over again. So, Aero, go ahead and make a perception check with advantage because you are being helped by Kirby and Qrow.
Okay, so I can roll twice, right?
Yeah, you roll twice, you take the higher one.
Okay, so roll twice. The first was 14, so the second one was 18 plus 2 on perception. That's 20.
Okay. 17. As you guys kind of file out into the streets, look around, Aero, you do notice kind of weaving through the crowds, you can catch the pointed ears, the braids, and at one point he looks back and makes eye contact with you and kind of looks you up and down and keeps walking. A little bit faster this time. You can tell that he's trying to not make a scene in the middle of the street.
Aero decides to, you know what? Fuck it. I want to chase this guy. So he takes off after him. Like, full on.
Okay, so you are chasing after this guy. Go ahead and roll another perception check for me, because you are attempting to maneuver through a busy street while keeping eye contact on this individual.
Can I, like, you know, use my acrobatics to get through properly? Or does it have to be perception?
Go ahead first and make an acrobatics check for me.
Okay. Okay, I rolled an 8 plus 7 on acrobatics. So that's
15.
15.
That's exactly what you needed. So you are able to bob and weave through the crowd without losing any sort of focus. So you are able to follow this individual. You, as he looks back at one point, notices you following, narrows his eyes, and begins to move even faster. At what point, almost disappearing through the crowd, before you catch sight of him again. And it's almost like a dance that you two are playing before you see him slip down the side of an alleyway. Are you continuing to pursue?
Yes, let's keep going.
Okay. So, given that you are quite, you are quite springy, go ahead and just roll a perception check to see if you can tell where he has gone off to.
Okay, I got a 10 plus 2. That's 12.
10 plus 2, okay. I'm taking a picture of that.
Did you get a nat 20?
Shush. As you kind of dart through the crowd, and you're rushing, and you at one point you stumble, you look up and he's gone, and you see just the tail end of the robe and the braid slip into an alleyway. You rush up and run into the alleyway, and it's empty. And you think to yourself, fuck, and turn around to leave, and you get pressed up against the wall with a long wooden quarterstaff. And looking down at you, because he is quite tall, is the elven man with the green eyes and the long golden brown hair. Looking a bit closer now, you can see that his clothes, while fine, are rather ragged. And he looks down at you. Well, you're very persistent, aren't you? And that's where we will end tonight's session.
Ooh, cliffhanger.
Yay!
I'm sorry, guys. The reason
Here he is,
why
Zelf.
I ended it a little bit early is because are falling the fuck asleep.